I'd like to kind of have a little bit of input on what was your cancer journey like, and can you tell me more about that story?
In October, I was in the shower, soaping my armpit, and found the lump. And it was quite large and painful. I came out and I asked Larry if he thought that I had him touch it, and he said, yeah, see the doctor on Monday. So I went to see the doctor on Monday, and they sent me right over for ultrasounds, and then by Thursday I was in surgery.
I was diagnosed Christmas Eve. I got a telephone call at 7 o'clock in the evening in 2009 with breast cancer, and 1 month later I was in surgery, had a bilateral mastectomy and reconstruction. And because I chose that route, I did not have to have chemo and I did not have to have radiation because it was caught very early. So I'm pro getting in there, getting your mammograms and catching it early.
I have multiple myeloma, which is basically a blood cancer. It's kind of a relative to leukemia. Most people are familiar with that. You get too much protein in your system and too much calcium, and it leaches the calcium out of your bones. My daughter got married the end of June, and my brother and I were dancing and having a great time. He dips me back and excruciating pain. There were 3 fractures in my back, which going to the chiropractor just compounded it, unfortunately. And I started having bad spasms in my back, and I ended up going to the ER and thought I was just dehydrated, a little anemic. They came back and said, no, you have cancer.
I started chemo right away, and that was not fun. Every treatment that you get, your chemo is building up in your body. So every treatment that you get, the next one's gonna be worse. I would be really good one day and then I'd be really sad the next.
So the emotional roller coaster of
Right.
the diagnosis, and it almost sounds like it was like a whirlwind, like you were diagnosed and then you were in surgery and then you were in treatment.
Right, I didn't have time to really realize what was going on.
My chemo was intensive, but I didn't have the physical reactions so drastically with my chemos and things like that. So I was very fortunate until I had my stem cell transplant, and then I could empathize with everybody because that's when I lost my hair and I had the sick feeling, and you know then it got rough. But that was basically my journey.
I lost strength in my legs, my core, my arms, my shoulders, everything. And so I was told, with the different feelings that I have and the lack of strength and everything, that 2 years out after surgery that would be the new me, and basically get used to it. But it's not working out that way. So 4 years later, I found LiveSTRONG at the Y, and I'm finding out that I can do more than I thought I could.
How did you find out about the program here at the YMCA?
I was on Facebook, and I got on the YMCA Facebook, and it talked about this new program for cancer survivors, LiveSTRONG. And I thought, man, I ought to check that out. So I came in the next day and went to the front desk and asked to see whoever was in charge of it. Mm-hmm. And I made an appointment, and that's how I got started.
Denise, my boss, came up to me and asked me if I'd want to be a part of this new program coming up, LiveSTRONG at the YMCA. Instantly, it like something jumped up inside of me. Yes, you know, I want to do this. It was way out of my comfort zone, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed learning. And then when it came to interviewing the cancer survivors and then working with them, instructing them, it just like keeps getting better. So I love it.
When I first came into it, I will say that I had a lot of fears. I came out of my comfort zone to walk in the door. And when I arrived and I started the class, it was absolutely awesome. Everyone was welcoming, and everybody was very compassionate, and they were dedicated and willing to work with all of us to help us stay on the healthy track. My doctor had told me that the one thing that I needed to do to keep my cancer in remission, and I've been in remission now for a year, was to exercise. And I wasn't doing that very well on my own. So to walk in the door and to be a part of a large class, and I've just never been to a fitness center at all in general, so that part was fearful, but they alleviated all that, and it's been a wonderful thing.
They've been through cancer, and I know that was a fight, and a lot of them become weak. And so when they come in and I interview them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we really have to be careful, because, they've been through a lot, and then you get them in class, and you're like, okay, you can slow down now, and they're like, no, I want to do this, and you're like, oh, okay. So you go right ahead. Far be it for me to say no, but changed me, made me that, just my, just the way I look at them. They're not fragile. They're strong, very strong, and fighters.
The LiveSTRONG program has it has helped me to get motivated to accomplish those goals. It's easy to sit at home and you've got family members saying, take it easy, you're sick, take it easy. And in your brain you're going, but I'm in remission, I should be better, I want to get going. And you lose so much muscle tone and energy going through the process that the LiveSTRONG program has helped rekindle that in me.
For 4 years, I've not been able to get up off the ground or off the floor without pulling myself up on something. It takes my legs and my arms to get myself up. And 2 days, or the day before our halfway mark, I fell on the ice, and all I could think of is I'm going to have to crawl to my car to open the door and pull myself up into the car to get up. And for some reason I thought, I'm going to try it. And I popped up, and I got up with no help from anything, anyone, and I was thrilled. I cried all the way to work. It doesn't sound like much, but if you've lost the ability to do something and you gain even a little bit of it back, it is so big. And to be halfway through the program and to see something so major, that's major to me.
The ladies they're amazing. They're just, when I first saw them, I saw them as these fragile little individuals, and they are so not fragile at all, so they're amazing. And every class that we do, and the things that they say, and they amaze me.
I'm on an everyday exercise schedule now, where before I had to really force myself to do it. I walk in the door and I'm greeted, and it's such a positive atmosphere. And I've learned how to use all the machines, I've been a part of the classes, and it's been a good thing.
The ladies are great. They make me smile. They have all been through so much more than I have, but they're positive, they're uplifting, they're just a pleasure to be around, and they just make you so grateful to be here.
With the support, we didn't have to do anything. They came in, they saw each other, they talked to each other, and they're the ones that just help each other out. We don't even, you know, I just step out of the room, they're doing it, you know, so, but yeah, that surprised me.
For me, it was a support group. Even though we all had different things, we had one major common thing, and that was cancer. So our journeys were different, but yet similar. Breast cancer is a different beast. The colon cancer is a different beast, ovarian cancer, and mine. So it affects all of us differently, but bottom line, it wipes you out. The chemo wipes you out. And it's funny whether it's 6 months ago or whether it was 6 years ago for these ladies, we all bonded immediately.
I could talk to them and they could talk to me about things that we understood because we were survivors, that other people didn't understand. And that kept me from getting depressed as much. And when you're not depressed, you have energy.
You know, when I first started, I had no hair. It was nice to be able to ask someone who'd actually, that sitting right there and see they had hair. It's gonna come back.
I always, before I was diagnosed with cancer, I used to lift weights and run 5 miles a day, and I never could do that after I had cancer, so I thought, well, who knows, they could teach me something. I would walk. I'd walk from 17th Street all the way down to the riverfront and back.
Did you do that on a regular basis? Were you able to do that regularly?
Some weeks, and then other weeks, no.
I was diagnosed with metastatic stage 4 uterine cancer. And like I said before, I have been in remission for 1 year, and I'm feeling very good. I'm able to exercise longer now, and I'm feeling better about sleeping and just my day-to-day activities.
My first class was scary. Didn't know what to expect, and I am very self-conscious, and I thought I would be more self-conscious here at the Y because, you know, there's some pretty buff people hanging out here. And but I thought, you know what, they're not looking at me, and if they are, so what? I'm working to better myself for myself, and it doesn't matter what they think. So I'm doing this for me. It's the best thing I've done for myself in years.
So many of the gals were just so energetic about it too, which it's like, okay, there's somebody fighting for us too. You get used to your usual caregivers when you're going through the process, but you guys became an extension of those caregivers, and the concern was genuine. You guys come in and say, how are you feeling? People ask you that question, how are you feeling? They really don't want the answer. You guys do. And that was a refreshing change. If you don't lose your hair and if you're not gaunt, people look at you and think, you're not sick. And you are, desperately.
I would absolutely recommend it to anybody who's gone through the cancer journey. It's very uplifting. It's important to stay active and stay in a group that knows where you're coming from and that can keep you on track. I liked the knowledge of the instructors and that they were so encouraging and so compassionate. I liked the camaraderie and getting to know so many people that had experienced what I had experienced, and I met a lot of friends.
That you would not believe. You know, it's like I've come in a couple times, just deadbeat. I feel so much better when I leave. You know, it's like, ugh, I really don't feel like doing this today. between taking care of dad and grandkids and, you know, my own energy level, I live at home with a lot of negativity. So this is my escape. This is my escape from the day in and day out. And I'm not one that's good about taking care of me, so this forces me to do it.
It's true, you don't know what to do. You just, woe is me, and you don't want to be like that because people get tired of hearing it, but you just don't feel good. And there's nowhere to go or to anybody to understand. Even your oncologist doesn't understand unless he's gone through it. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing was to show me how I could, with all my weaknesses, how I could make myself stronger.
Yeah, we do a wide range of stuff so that when they leave the program, they know that they can do a wide range.
But the LiveSTRONG program is just what I needed to keep going.
So how important do you think the preventative screenings are?
Very, very important. Although it didn't find this, I still think it's important. But the most important thing is to know your own body.
And to do your self-breast exams
Yes.
on a regular basis,
Yes.
along with the mammogram.
Right. And, you know, you just need to know your whole body.
27 years ago.
27 years ago you had a screening?
Yeah. My doctor called Dr. Warren, wanted me to come to the hospital. They'd gotten a new machine in, and I had never had a mammogram. So I went over and had it done, and they found it and scheduled the surgery. This was on a Friday, and they scheduled the surgery for the following Monday. And when I went in, I stopped to see Dr. Warren again because I wanted to tell him that if it was malignant, I wanted it done all at once. Mastectomy, the whole thing. And Dr. Aquino didn't want to do it that way, but he did. So it had gone in, it had not traveled anywhere, was not in any of the lymph nodes, and was very successful.
So 27 years ago, you had a mammogram, and I think you told me that that was like a new machine that was at the hospital.
Yes, it was. Aaron called it the Cadillac of machines. It was brand new.
It was brand new, and because you were personal friends,
Yes.
and he said, you've never had a mammogram, I'd like you to come in.
Right.
And weren't you taking care of your grandson?
Yes, TJ.
And so you said, oh, I can't come in, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm babysitting. And what did he tell you?
Bring him along, and Peg will take care of him. That's his wife.
I'm assuming that you were not expecting them to find something on that.
No, I did. From the way they acted, I did.
Oh, you knew that they had found something on that. You had surgery.
I had the surgery, and I didn't have to have the chemo. I took tamoxifen, which was a very new drug at the time, for 6 years.
And you've been cancer-free.
Clear ever since.
And that's 27 years ago.
Yeah.
I am just grateful for the opportunity to be a part of such a program that has such a significant impact on the lives of survivors. I never realized going into this, I knew there would be an emotional impact. Anybody that knows me knows I get very emotional about things, and I get hit in the heart very easily. But just seeing our survivors go through this and come here and just say, wow, this has made a dynamic change in me. I just think, it's just moved me so much.